Hello everyone, welcome to Noble Creative Tutorials, and today I will show you how to create stylish glitch logo animation in Adobe After Effects without using any third-party plugins. So create your composition and let's get started. So after create composition, and as you see here in my comp, I have a logo placeholder and a few maps right here. So let's open these to see how we can create that very quickly. As you can see in this one, we just use fractal noise here, using block type and the contrast, and playing here with the scale, and just using times on the random seeds. So we're getting some variation on the animation here, as you can see. Same idea for this one, just different scale here, and also animating here these offset turbulence there with actually the random seeds as well. So this one is very straightforward here, just fractal noise and then rotate that or scale it on these way, just 45-degree here, as you can see. And for this one here, also here, let's just solo these. We call background and a fractal noise map applied right on these layer. We're using time on the evolution, and also apply here CC block load effect just to get some nice pixelating look as it load right here. And then we just add on top this checkboard and animating Y value on these checkboard incorporate there. And this one is very straightforward, just two different solids, black and white, mask the white here. The same idea here, just having that vertical and horizontal maps. So these ones are very straightforward, as you can see, nothing complicated. So right now, let's just pre-compose this one and let's rename these logo outline. And then I'm going to apply Vegas effect here, and let's put these to transparent and then segment to 1 and change these to white, and basically width to 1 and the midpoint probably -1 or something, maybe -0.1. So you can play with that, you can see what's going on there. And all I want here is to animate right here the rotation. So going from 0 and around maybe this time here, I'm just going to put these to 1. And then just trim these layer right there. So we have a keyframes just on the rotation here. And we can enable here random phase, and you can just randomize that so you can see what we got here. Very straightforward. So what I'm going to do now is just find edges, and basically I want to put that before, and you can see what's going on. So I want to animate here the blending. Basically I want that to start 100 and then want that to be to 0. So you can basically just start animating that as you want. So let's just preview this. Okay, so as you can see here, the animation look really nice. So what I can do here actually is just invert these spline edges, and it's going to make it a little bit smoother with the transition, as you can see here, which I really like. So the next step here, I just want to duplicate this one here and just remove the effect from the second duplicate, and let's reveal the animation for this one. So around 2 seconds, I want these to be already blended there, and I want to trim the second one here just around 6 frames probably, and trim that, duplicating these, doing the same thing here, just few duplicates to trim, another duplicate, and the last one here, just want to just keep something. Probably I'm going to trim these around that and just leave like 2 frames here so we can see through this frame here. So we have this gap between these two here, which is going to reveal this outline one. So what I'm going to do here, actually just apply this placement map for this one here, and going for the first one and just go for around maybe 90 or so, and going to keep that, and the next one just going to keep it as it is. For this one here, I'm just going to trim these and make it a little bit longer here. So for this one, I'm going to apply this placement map again and go for the second one, and then just animate that right there. So going from basically 0 to around -100 or so, just so we can have that displacement there. So let's just trim this one right here, and we're going to have this one just like that. Okay, so as you can see here, we are building up different looks on different time, which is pretty cool. So you can see here, this one is a little bit slow. We can just probably just move this keyframe closer to make it a little bit faster on these displacements. So now I'm going to duplicate these twice and then just remove displacement maps from both of these. So the same idea, I want that few frames here, maybe a little bit less there. And this one, we want that a bit longer here. So just something like this. So the second one, or the first duplicate we want here, we want to use time displacement. And for this to work, we need actually to be animating the logo, which I already have here. This logo animation map, very straightforward here, just actually logo placeholder and animating scale and apply their veil on that one. So just very straightforward animation here that I'm going to use and replace it with actual logo outline, just alt and then replace it here. So now on this placement map here on this layer, we already moved or trimmed these. So we need to move these at the beginning of the animation. So for these time displacement to work, so we need first, let's just put resolution to 30 and animate here the max displacement. So just around 0.2 and we want to get into 0 here. And so now as this animating here, it's using itself. So what we're gonna use here is the map 3, which is the one with checkerboard here. So that's how the look is going to end up looking. So if we just look at this animation, you can see here. So probably we want to move these a little bit here, or maybe even extend these few frames here, just so we can have more of these glitch look. Okay, that's look pretty cool. So now I'm going to add CC ball action and then just put spacing here to 1 and 50 on both sides. So now we're getting some pretty cool look animation here. The second one here, or the last one, duplicate here, we're just going to keep the placeholder. See, this is actual placeholder here. Right now, I'm just going to apply here displacement map again here. And then I'm going to use this map war here. And I want to animate this placement, of course, here. And I'm going to use set map here. And I'm going to use the same map there. And basically just invert these and use luminance. So we are going to get something like this. And then I'm going to do here is just use find edges. And then invert that and then just put that on top. And I want to animate these as well. So animate these will make it look pretty cool. So let's add a keyframe there and then zero out these. Invert these keyframes here. And then what I want to do here, just create another duplicate of this one, but this time without displacement map and then invert map here. So this is how it's going to end, and we don't want to have the animation on the find edges. Two duplicates of the same thing just going to give us some really nice look. So probably going to put that below it so you can see here now how it looks. So let's see how this looks like. So as you can see here, we add some different glitch look to this animation, which is pretty cool. And so now I'm just going to do a few adjustments here. So for the last one here, I'm just going to trim these layer here and then just move these keyframes to make these a little bit faster. And right here, I'm going to add scale animation. So maybe 4 frames. I want to scale these up a little bit and then maybe 3 frames, getting these into place here. And so what I'm going to do now is just duplicate this one and then just remove these effects here. So now this is the placeholder and we want to just reveal this placeholder once this getting scaled a little bit, so we can have these nice outlines around the mail logo before it just disappear and just the mail logo appears at the end. So now I'm going to add some displacement to these. So let's just add adjustment layer, and so we can start adding some random displacement here. So I just wanted these around 5 frames and then just add displacement map and then using the last one here, which is this map here. And so by doing that, just going to randomize these on the timeline. So Control D right here, just for 2 seconds. We want to add these glitch look. So right here, for example, so for this one, maybe we can go 10, just touch this one, maybe 20. So it's up to you on which side you want to just add the glitch. So probably maybe on just 10 for this one, and maybe this one we want to add a little bit more distortion there, and right here as well, probably going for 20 here, even more probably, just something like that. And I'm just going to duplicate these one more time and just add another one here, and I want to displace these even more here, something probably up to you how we want to displace these. And I want to use a different map, not the same map this time, so using the fifth one. So just add that square look of displacement on this one. We just add it, so probably just duplicating that, extend that frames there, or that layer here, so we just have a little bit less here, and we got that into place. So we got some more displacement, just around 2 seconds here. So I want to add a few elements here to this. So I already have these elements here. So the idea here, let's follow these shape layers here. We can just throw different animating or still shapes there. So as you can see here, and then just adding displacement to these, we're just going to add some really nice displacement to these. And displacement you use for this one is different here. So let's just put the scale for this fractal noise to 100. And you can see here, very straightforward to create these using blocks and animate offset turbulence, and just put scale to 2. Just make sure it's bigger. So this one is 4K, and we'll get to this later on in this tutorial. So right now, just let's drag and drop first element here, and I want that probably just around 2 seconds, and I want that just below all of these ones here. And they have another one which is just these animation using scale for the shape layer. Very straightforward, adding that right here as well, so around probably 3 seconds there, just something like that. So let's just preview and see how this looks like. So as you can see here, the animation will look more interesting. So the more elements and effects we are getting there, the more they start looking more interesting and complicated. So what I'm going to do here, just probably going to scale these elements a little bit, maybe around 60. I don't want that to be too big there. So that should be fine. And then just pre-compose these and rename these logo animations 01, and then I'm going to create a new node object and just rename these animation, and let's link these to these null and hit S to reveal scale, and I want to animate these. So from 80 around 2 seconds, I want that to be 100, and then around just 8 frames we want to add another keyframe there, and then probably add a rotation here. So we want that after 1 frame, we want that to get -2 and scale this up a little bit. So probably just a few frames there. We want to hold these for like 5 or so and just zero out these and get back to the scale here. So let's preview this. Very straightforward animation, just to add a secondary animation to the whole thing here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is just add a tint and glow effect. So I want to go around 20 and 2 and 0.2 on intensity, and basically I want to animate here these glow intensity. So around 4 seconds I want these to get into 20. So we crank up these, as you can see here, and I want to use here hold keyframe, so I don't want that to be animating there. So now I want to duplicate these, around 8 duplicates, and then I want actually just to start trimming these few frames here. So now I'm going to stylize these duplicates. So for example, this first one, I'm going to add find edges, and actually I don't want to use the logo animation. I want to use the logo placeholder here. So I'm just going to place that right there, and what I'm going to do here is just invert that around 20, and I want to get rid of these tint effect just so I can blend the actual logo look with this one. So now we have both here. So this is animating, and then right here it's just going to start showing up right there. So maybe just going to trim these a little bit more, make it just short right there. And for these ones here, and actually I want to get rid of these intensity animations. So probably part one will be less, probably just little of that glow effect there. So going to do the same thing for the other ones. I'm just going to copy the fun edges here and then paste them right here. So probably this one, going to see which one is going to look pretty cool. So fun one right here, maybe this one edges. So you can see now we start just making things look a little bit. So probably here I will keep the glow and fine edges. You can see how now it looks with that. So if we zero out these, you can see here the difference. So I'm going to zero out that, and right here probably we'll just keep it as it is. So it's okay to have different values than mine. So just keep playing around with different settings until you get the result you're looking for. And to blend this layer with the one below, I'm just going to hit Y to switch to the bend behind tool, just so I can slide this layer on time a little bit. So you can see now the outlines just moved. So as you can see here, just blending both layers together. So if we switch on these layer fan edges, you can see how it looks. That's why I turned it off, just so we can have a nice blend in there. So let's preview and see how this looks like. So as you can see, the animation already look pretty cool, but we are going to add more effect to these to make it look even better. So what I'm going to do here now is just add a new adjustment layer, and let's rename these displacement, and just add displacement map here. And this time we're going to use the one I mentioned before, this one. Make sure it's 4K double size to the min comp here, and right here as you can see, just fractal noise. So the scale is set to 2, but if we set that to 100, you can see just getting these square look, which is using blocks and just putting complexity to 1 and animating here the offset turbulence. So you can animate that on the whole duration here. I'm just going to keep that the first 2 seconds for this one here, and basically set these scale to 2 to get noise. These look like particles there. So I'm just going to add these map to our min comp here, and then use it with the displacement here. So what I'm going to do here is just displacing these -10 and +10 on X and Y. So basically this X and Y. So I'm just going to duplicate that and then just go -20 and 20 and then 30, etc. So I'm going to stop at 100. Okay, so as you can see now, this whole thing is just offset the whole thing right here. So what I'm going to do to fix this, just add transform here. And actually, if we add up the values here, for example, adding these horizontal values here, we are going to end up with 550. So we are going to subtract that from the X and then just add that on the Y. Basically, we are using the same values here, and that's going to fix the problem and getting that into place. So now we're having some really cool look, as you can see here, for this glitch effect. So I'm just going to keep that first one here at these 2 seconds, and then I'm going to make a few duplicates of the same layer and then just trim it and place it on timeline randomly and change a little bit of the frame duration, just how long I want that layers to take effects on timeline. So randomly that would just add some really cool effect to the whole animation. Okay, so as you can see, just by adding the last displacement map technique, you can see how we add some really nice and very cool look to this animation. So one more thing I'm going to add here is turbulence displace. So just duplicate this displacement layer here, and let's just trim it around here. And then I'm just going to remove all these displacement map here, and then just add turbulent displace, and then just go 50 on size, and then just animate the evolution here times 50. And I'm going to add a wave warp here and then crank up these to 100 on height and width and change type to smooth noise here. And then just zero out direction and add some speed to this. And then panning these to the center. And of course, this is going to get some really nice animation right there. So I'm going to duplicate these and around right here, probably just going to make these just a few frames here, remove these wave here, and then just add echo effect here this time. And on echo effects, I'm going for 3 on number of echoes and then minus 1.9 on echo time, and probably going 0.5 on the decay right here. So you can play with different values, just depend on what we would like to get. And then create another duplicate and then just remove echo effects. So it's up to you. Probably here I'm going for horizontal for all of them. So horizontal going to look much better. Okay, so now I'm going to add a new adjustment layer, and this one is going to be glow, and then add a glow effect there. So going for 50 on threshold and 0.5 on radius and 3 on intensity. So you can see we add some really nice pop-up to these look here, and that's pretty cool. So now what I'm going to do here, just add another element I have here. So basically this one here, just text animating here, very straightforward. So if you want to know how you can create that, just really easy here, adding animator here using offset and with zero out here the opacity and with a wiggle selector. So wiggle just going to randomize that, add another duplicate here. So that's basically what we're going to use here. Just add that on top right here. And let's then add the logo placeholder as well. So first we need to link these to the animation so they are on the same position as you can see. And then we're going to use the track matte here so we can get that into place. So you can see now that log everywhere this text animation. So we can actually right here on here add fill if you want to recolor that. So I'm just going to keep that white and then add sample choker right here. So probably 0.5 or so. We'll just shrink these a little bit. As you can see here, we can add invert color, so you can invert that depends on where there is white and black. So for example, let's say part where it's white, we can just example here, we want that to be white. We can keyframe that if you want. So it just up to you how we want to play with these. For example here, put that so you can see that you can just animate these if you want. So I'm just going to leave it as it is and then just recompose the whole thing here, and let's rename this logo animation 02. As you can see guys, the animation look really nice and pretty cool and complicated as well. So now we're just going to add some stylize to this. So first let's add a new solid. Let's rename these background and hit OK. And then add a fill here and let's make these dark here. And let's put it below, and every 2 seconds we're going to trim these logo animation layer here. And just delete the last part here because we want to add these logo placeholder right here. So we can just animate the opacity. So around 5 seconds, we want that to start animated here from 0 to 100. And just copy these keyframes and then just paste them to the one below, and then just let's reverse the keyframes here just so we can have a nice blending to these animation here. So basically we're going to reveal our logo placeholder right here. So now we want to add some fake chromatic aberration. I'm just going to add 3D class effect here and then just assign the same layer here, and let's switch these to red blue and go for 5 on vertical alignment, and then add CC composite here. Let's just take these RGB, and probably you can use these as add, and we can just duplicate these, trim it maybe 4 or 5 frames, and then just Y to use the pen behind tool, and you can slide here these if you want to get just some extra layer on top, and using these as vivid light just to get different glitchy look right there. So probably just 3 frames here just so it show up there, and there it goes. Okay, so now let's add a new adjustment layer, and this is going to be glow, and I'm going to apply glow to these. So we can play with the glow look as you would like. So for the first one, I'm probably going to just keep it around this part here for start getting with these colors. So it's up to you how you want to stylize this, and just duplicating that, trim these, and I want to add that right here. So I want to add some glow to these, duplicating these, and another one just around these guys. So probably right here I just want to 0.5, just less intensity, just depend on how we want to make things look. So probably I will go for this one. So let's preview and see how this looks like. So as you can see guys, just by adding few glow layers and fake chromatic aberration, make these pop up a little bit more and make it more stylized. So now we're just going to add the final touches to this to make it even much better. So let's just duplicate these background layer here and pre-compose these, and let's rename these logo animation and hit OK. So now let's just first animate the opacity 4 frames, and it's going to be 100, and zero out that at the beginning. And then I'm going to add a new adjustment layer, and it's going to be posterize effect. So I'm going to add posterize time here, and I'm going to set that to 4. So just going to posterize the whole animation here. And then I'm going to add fast box blur, and then animate the blur starting from 10 and around 10 frames, going to set that to 0. And I'm going to duplicate this layer and make it less camera blur here, and just remove the effect here, and then just add camera less blur. So I'm going to use this map here. So basically this map is going to be used with camera lens blur, just random seeds here, and you can just create yours, which is very straightforward to create it using fractal noise. So I'm just going to add that right here, and basically going to use it with camera lens blur here. So first let's assign that right here, and you can see now we have posterize time and camera lens blur. But what I'm going to do here is just select the logo animation, make it 3D, and hit P to reveal position, and basically I'm going to add a wiggle expression to these, and I'm going to link it with posterize frame right here, comma 10, and just going to copy these and use that with the blur lens here, and probably going for 20 on the amounts. So now the camera lens blur also is going to be posterized here, the value of the blur radius, and I want to put that just on top of the logo animation here. So and now we can just add some really nice overlays to this. So I already have these fractal noise here overlays, very straightforward to create using fractal noise. Adding glow to that, you can just play with your own settings and you will get some really nice cool ones. There's already a video covering how you can create some kind of these noise overlays. Very straightforward, as you can see here, just fractal noise using block and different contrast and scale and complexity. Just add glow to make these popping up here, and this one here just so we can add some noise, kind of like glitchy particles around the comp there. So let's just add these here. So I'm just going to add these on top of this one, the layer, and just going to make this green, and the rest just going to add them right here. And so I'm just going to randomize these on the timeline here, just so we can add some randomizing of these glitch overlays. And then I'm just going to make them lights in here, just so nicely they blind in with everything else. So let's preview and see how this looks like. So you can see by adding posterize and less camera blur, make these even more glitchy and stylized. So right now you can basically play with frame rate to make it more smoother if you want to, or just disable that. It's up to how you want these look. So now I'm going to show you how you can actually quickly remap the color to different colors. All you have to do is create a new adjustment layer. Let's rename this look and just apply colorama here and just modify alpha and take that and use hue and saturation. And now we can just remap here, make these probably red or make it negative here. So now I'm going to get different look as you can see here. So we can just switch to probably fire, for example, and we're just going to end up with different noise looks here. So now just some tips and tricks here. And of course you would like the sound to sync with the animation. So all you need to do is just go to the logo animation 1 or 2, for example. So I'm going to animation 1 and then just use the glitch sound effects right there. And all you have to do now is just place where you want the layers to be. You can actually move that because these are all separate layers. You can just move them where you want that to sync with the audio. So all you have to do is just place it where you want that glitch effect to happen. So you can do that on logo glitch animation 1 and the second one as well, just to make things into sync. So that's it, guys. Hope this tutorial was very useful for you as always, and if you have any questions, just comment and I will do my best to be responsive. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorials coming soon, and thank you for watching.